Welcome to Lavapalooza 2025, put on by the Snake River Off-Roaders Club of Idaho. Starting off, Leador City Park. They're headed to Blue Jay Mine. See how it goes with this lineup. A lot of vehicles. So before we get rolling, here's a quick map of where we'll be going. Running from 7,000 feet up to 10,000 feet. With this amount of vehicles, should be an adventure. The start of the trail does go through some private property, so please be respectful and keep your speeds down when running through this private land. Keep that dust level down for those guys. Also, our first, 5 to 7 miles of this run are pretty much ground level, just dirt road, but does see a fair bit of traffic, whether it be hunters, fishermen, whatever it may be. Just take your time, enjoy the scenes, have a good ride up. We probably passed 4 or 5 different folks on the way up, so just another reminder, there will be other people on the trail. Alright, finally getting to the actual trail part of this. You do pass a nice looking cabin on the way up, but we will check that out on our way down. We didn't know what kind of time we would have, and we did this in the middle of August. Doing this in the middle of August, we found the best way to remember the route. Follow the water. The water takes us to the top. So that's the route we followed, and that's the route we'll film here today. Now there are some pretty narrow areas through here, a lot of deadfall. Good chance that you could get some body damage on the side if you're not paying enough attention to some down logs. So be sure you are paying attention to those down logs on the side. They will jump out and get you. I'm always extremely surprised at how well these GoPros actually stabilize the horizon. As you can tell, the hood is going all over the place, but that horizon, it's staying steady. And this camera is just mounted to the dash. We're not holding the camera, it's not on a gimbal, it's all digitally adjusted to be able to hold that view. So, if you haven't ran a GoPro and you do this type of activity and you'd be interested in filming, check them out. And here we are coming up to one of the first mine areas. Up here, we were mostly after lead and silver. However, the byproduct that they're getting out of these is some blue materials. Azurite and malachite is what we're being told these guys are. We'll have some pictures here a little later on of some of the rocks that we found up there and took back with us to have a look with. Something to keep in mind as we see these tailing piles and such is that all these operations took place in the early 1900s, so there's a very limited chance that they ran heavy machinery to do all of this work. A lot of it was probably blasting and moved by cart and donkey probably. So it's an interesting way of how much land these guys could actually move, basically just by hand. Continuing up the trail, we do get into some larger shale type rock, so it is good to make sure that you got some decent tires on with some decent ply. Sidewalls could take a beating here, so just something to keep in mind. After the shale part, the boulders do get a little larger, the road gets a little steeper, so slow down, take your time, just enjoy the views. Towards the top, you can start to see that the vegetation starts to thin out, rocks start to get a little thicker, the road starts to get a little rougher. But it is an amazing view towards here at the top. You can see almost everything from here. There are a few corners like this one where you're just basically looking off the edge of a cliff. There is plenty of road. It's not like it's a thin road to drive across, but just keep in mind that if you are afraid of heights, there are a few drop-offs that you'll want to be careful on. So while this last little bit here wasn't the steepest part, we did film it out just so we could kind of give an idea. This one showed it at about the 15 degrees. I think the highest we saw was 18 degrees, just to give you an idea of the steepness on this. All right, now at the top with the 10,000 feet, everybody stopped and stretched their legs, got a snack, enjoyed the view. Getting ready for our trip back down. To me, the trip back down always seems to go quicker than the trip up. I don't know if it's just because it's stuff you've already seen, or if it's people who are just ready to get off the trail, so they're quite literally going faster, or what it is. But anyhow, trip down for us always seemed a little quicker. Nice part from the camera side, though, is now with this trip down, you can see a little more of those views we were talking about. So, overlook the entire valley. Pretty cool thing to see. And here's a better view of those larger boulders and that drop-off on the side we kept referring to. As mentioned, the road is plenty wide. There's not an issue with the width, but it can be a little unnerving for folks who are afraid of heights. There is supposedly a decent lake down at the bottom of this valley over here. We did not venture to that during this trip, but should someone be adventurous and want to go on a hike, head down to the bottom of that valley. Check out some cool views down there too. And a few more shots here from the other perspective of all these tailing piles. We go up the hill, down the hill, all over the place. These people sure were searching for that lead and silver. I'm sure they found other things as too. They had to have enjoyed taking some of the blue rock. So, hence the Blue Jay Mines. Here's a quick shot of what some of those rocks look like. As we get back to the bottom of the trail here, this is back where that cabin area was for the mines. I'm not sure how many people lived in this area or how many people worked the area, but you could roughly see remnants of maybe 3 to 4 cabins. We'll go through a few of these in here, give a picture of somewhat of what they look like. And for as old as these guys are, they're actually still in fairly reasonable condition. It's actually pretty impressive to see. Now we're guessing that this cabin was either like a workshop or storage area. It didn't have any type of flooring or anything of that nature, and a really large door opening. This guy over here, we're assuming, was more of the living quarters. It had a floor, an area to have a fire, and a few different more comfort creature sets. Also, all around you can see remnants of other outbuildings. They did not seem to survive as long and held up as well, but there was a lot of activity going here on a one day. So, once upon a time. Well, that was all for this first run. We'll get the next run next week. Thanks for watching, everybody.